said that it's possible for Boots to fight Virgil and Hogan, right? Does that type of fight need a belt on the line though, or are you just like, it's a great fight?
I mean, ideally, because I think Virgil's a great fighter. I think he's one of the best fighters in the division. But Boots wants to fight the best. I think he sees Virgil as a great fight, and I think people, he's not like a guy that's going to need a great deal of warm-up fights. I think even if he fights a non-champion at 54, it'll be a good name and it'll be a top 10 guy, a real fight. So I do think that Boots against Virgil is one of the best fights in boxing, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think whatever's next will be a very solid fight for Boots.
Eddie, Boots is the WBA Super Champion at 147 pounds. Is it possible for him to petition to face the champion at 154, which would be Terrence Crawford, maybe after Canelo Alvarez fight?
Yeah, I think Terrence is done at 54 now with the belts, apparently. I think there's an interim champion from Cuba at 154 with the WBA. There is that option, but he's not made a final decision yet. That'll come in the next week or so, and you'll hear it from him officially, and then we'll make our move for the next fight. But obviously when he moves up, he wants us to get him in a position as soon as possible to fight for the world title.
Hey Eddie, Perry Silk, Pix 11 Sports. When I spoke to Rich last week, he said this was something he wanted to do to bring big-time boxing back to New York. Do you feel like this was a good step in that direction? What's your assessment of tonight? And do you have any more plans to do more here?
Yeah, I think, look, this is, it's, from a business perspective, it's a brutal financial experience coming to New York, right? The hotels, although the venue is incredible, it's not cheap, so financially, you're a lot better off going elsewhere. So maybe a place without the union issues and so forth. But there's nothing like being in New York at a venue like this. And this is one of the best places in the world. It's the Mecca of boxing. And if you want to make a statement, you come here. So I felt like that's what we wanted to deliver for Richie. And I feel like he gave us the performance to go with it. So, whether Hitchens fights back here again, we will always be at Madison Square Garden. We'll actually be here at the end of June for the darts. Make sure you watch that. And obviously, Katie Taylor's here July the 11th. So this is, if you want to make a statement, if you really want to put someone on the platform, Madison Square Garden is an incredible place to do it.
What surprised you the most, or what you could say the comments the most about Richard Hitchens?
Just the accuracy and the timing and the way he went through the gears. I think if you look back to the Zepeda fight and fights like that, he didn't go through the gears, but that just comes with experience and confidence. So, dominate for 5-6 rounds and then put your foot on the gas and then get him out of there. That's what people want to see. They don't want to see you dominate for 12 rounds in the same pattern. And I think that was great for him tonight.
Eddie, Johnny Boy boxing and fight. Amanda Taylor, Katie and Amanda, what do you think about that fight? The two other fights were so close. What's going to change in this third fight?
Nothing. It's going to be another great fight. It's going to be another close fight. Those two fighting, it'll always be 6-4, 5-5, maybe 7-3, and it'll be the same this time. I feel like Katie won the first fight, not clearly, but thought the second fight was very close. I had it 6-4, and this is going to be the same kind of fight. 5-5, 6-4. Those three. But it's very unusual to get a trilogy when it's 2-0, right? We saw it with Canelo. Well, that was a draw in the first fight, right? So, but tell me other big fight trilogies where it's 2-0. It's quite unusual, but that's because it's a great fight and it'll be a great fight again.
Yeah, Eddie, you spoke earlier about rival season and getting involved in rival season and Turkey Alley Sheets. For a fighter like Richardson Hitchens, what's the best way you think for him to put himself on the radar where he can get involved in some of those fights?
Tonight, really. I think exactly tonight. That's why we invested in coming to Madison Square Garden. That's why we invested in coming to, bringing George Kambosos, a big name opponent, because we felt like was a fight that would suit his style, and if he could put a special performance together, he'd raise his stock on the night. And I think that's what happened tonight, you know. Richie was out of the game 2 years ago, out of the game. Like Mayweather Promotions just kind of left him on the side. He had no profile, no contract, no activity. We boxed him here. He headlined in Orlando. He headlined in Las Vegas. And now he headlined in Puerto Rico. We got him the fight for the world title. And now he headlined at Madison Square Garden. So really, like, it's been an incredible run with him over the last 2 years.
Who won the 5K today? You or Frank?
Definitely not me. Frank didn't run it.
Heard he did a lot of talk.
I'm ill, and I said I'm not running it. Then Frank swerved it, and I ended up running it.
He talked a lot.